We're not allowed to stay past 3:30 as far as I heard. So I have to whip us through this real fast. I did ask. They said absolutely not. A safety issue. Why do I have them in here twice? GDC, can you hear me? Can somebody call over and let them know that we're here? Thank you.
You've been doing okay, Your Honor?
I'm doing wonderful, making it through this thing. How about you?
Same thing here, just trying to stay out the way.
Yeah. All right, you got a doozy today.
Hi, this is John from 3664. We're ready to start video felony arraignment for the mail.
We've got retained Solomon and Andre Sims. Solomon and then Andre Sims.
Stand attorney. Hello?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Can we start with Solomon? Jamon Solomon, who I think is number 4. And then can we go back to Mr. Sims, who's listed in numbers 1 and 2? He's got 2 files.
And I'm here for Mr. Sims.
Yes, I was told. That's why I'm calling him up for you. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know.
Great. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Crazy man.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. I need to look at this. Gotcha. You can just set it wherever. I'll grab it.
Put it closer to you.
Thank you. Yes.
Jamon Solomon.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Solomon. We are joined here by your counsel, Mr. Toussaint. We're going to go ahead and call your case. Mr. Toussaint, before we do that, can you provide your P number for the clerks, please?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May it please this most honorable court, Vincent J. Toussaint, P58609, on behalf of Jamon Solomon.
Thank you. All right. So this is case number 2105-790301, People versus Jamon Aiden Solomon. Solomon. Counsel, do you wish to waive formal reading and stand your client mute?
Your Honor, waive formal reading, stand mute to the allegations contained within the warranted information.
Thank you. Court notes formal reading has been waived. We'll enter a not guilty plea on your client's behalf, and I'll hear your arguments as to bond, please.
Your Honor, my client lives with his mother in Detroit. He's a graduate of Oak Park High School. My client is also a military veteran. He has 3 children. He is on disability at the present time. He was prior employed. He has no criminal history whatsoever, no juvenile history, no habeas history, does not have a passport or an enhanced license. He will reside if he is given bond with his mother, and he can be placed on tether. We understand these are serious charges. He at this point in time maintains his innocence.
Okay, thank you, counsel. I know you can only go by what you've been provided. I've got a habitual fourth enhancement on the file. I'm showing 3 convictions for felonious assault from 2020, all arising out of the same conviction date, May 1st, 2020, but I've got 3 convictions for felonious assault on that date, so you're aware.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Okay, counsel, I've had a chance to review the investigator's report in the file. I know you haven't had the same opportunity, so I just want to tell you those factors that are standing out to me that are influencing my bond decision. The main one being that there is a purported admission, at least to the shooting. There is some explanation that purportedly believed that he was going to be assaulted, and so he fired first. But we've got 3 counts of assault with intent to murder, person shot in the back, according to the investigator's report, and who was in critical condition at Sinai Grace Hospital. So those things are influencing my bond decision in terms of danger to the community, which is a real concern at this time, given the description in that report. For those reasons, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500,000 cash in this case.
Thank you very
The
much,
next
Your
court
Honor.
date, thank you. The next court date is going to be May 19th, and then after that, May 26th, both in front of Judge Jones. So preliminary examination for May 26th, probable cause conference, May 19th, both in front of Judge Jones. There is a no contact order in this case. That's no contact with Jemiah Reed or Tajane Chappell. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contact with either of those individuals would be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
No, you
I'm
shouldn't
gonna let
ask
your
any
attorney
questions
answer
at
that
this
for you.
time. Don't ask any questions at this time, okay?
You've got an
Right, Your Honor.
excellent
Thank you.
attorney there, sir. I would take his advice. He's you're in very good hands there. I would do what he says, quite frankly.
This
you
was
very
about
much, Your Honor.
my health, sir.
Do you have a health issue that the jail needs to be aware of? Is that what he's trying to tell me?
That's what I'm trying to ask about.
Is there a health issue that you have?
Yeah, it's a lot. That's what I was trying to ask, sir.
What is the health
Okay.
issue that you have?
I was diagnosed with PTSD, schizophrenia. I have chronic asthma, and I go to physical therapy for my knee. I just had ACL reconstruction. I've been not getting no medicine or anything since I've been here.
We'll just, could you please mark his file medical, Your Honor?
Yes. DDC, would you please mark this file medical?
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too now.
Good to see
Stay
you.
safe.
All right. You too. Thanks.
Good to see you too. Take care.
I can leave.
Hi. What's your name, please, sir?
Andre Javon Sam.
Okay, Mr. Sims, and we're joined here by your counsel, Attorney Phelps. Attorney Phelps, would you please provide your P number for the clerks?
Yes, Your Honor. P number 83355.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sims has 2 cases in front of me today. I'll call them both because I'm assuming that your arguments, well, we'll call them one at a time. Let's look at the date of the offense. I've got one date of offense, May 10th, 2021, and one April 2021. We'll take the April 2021 first. That's a misdemeanor assault and battery, case number 210-4464801, People of the State of Michigan versus Andre Javon Sims. Counsel.
Your Honor, Mr. Sims would stand mute to the charges. However, for a misdemeanor offense, I cannot take his case, but I'm happy to do the
Gotcha.
arraignment with him today.
All right, thank you. Do I have counsel in the courtroom that can enter? Has Mr. Sims been interviewed by you guys?
Your Honor, we were just advised that he had retained counsel.
Okay. All right, then what's going to have to happen?
I'm not retained counsel. I'm appointed.
I understand. So Mr. Phelps then is going to need to meet with an attorney for this case. So we're going to have to push him to the end. You can go ahead. Well, we can get him arraigned on the felony case, and then I'll let you guys interview him with respect to the misdemeanor case. All right. Thank you. Okay. So we'll go on to the felony case, which is case number 210-579-0201, People versus Andre Sims. Okay, counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Neighborhood Offender Service of Detroit by Natalie Phelps, P number 83355, appearing on behalf of Mr. Sims, who is also present via Zoom. Your Honor, as for the arraignment on the felony case, Mr. Sims would stand mute to the charges and enter a not guilty plea. As far as bond goes, I would request a PR bond or a low cash bond. In this case, Mr. Sims is indigent and would have difficulty posting really any amount of bond. And he has had, he does have close contact with me. I don't consider him a flight risk. I don't believe he is a flight risk. His last criminal conviction, I believe, if I remember correctly, was from over 10 years ago. I don't believe that he's a danger to the community. So I would request a low cash bond or a PR bond with this case. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So first of all, we'll note that formal reading was waived, will enter a not guilty plea on his behalf. Now to the issue of bond. My main concern here is not so much flight, but it is community safety. That is, of course, one of the things that I have to weigh. Mr. Sims has prior convictions for assaultive offenses in 2008, felonious assault, 2009, felonious assault, 2009, later in 2009, an assault with intent to rob while armed. All of those being assaultive and occurring in, pretty close proximity to each other. In the current case, you're correct. Now we're fast forwarded to 2021. I don't know how long he's been out of the custody of the MDOC, but now we're at 2021. And I have allegations involving not one, but two victims who are basically serving as witnesses for each other in a highly assaultive offense. In addition, victim one in this case that I'm arraigning on now reported that there is another case in which the defendant assaulted her. I'm assuming that's the assault and battery we're going to be doing the misdemeanor issue earlier. I do see that Mr. Sims is trying to show me his hand. Perhaps he wants me to know that he was also a victim in this case, if that's going to be his defense. I don't know. But, sir, I am noting that I see your hand there and I'm noting your injuries. Nonetheless, I am concerned about the allegations here. This is not a case where where the people are unknown to each other. I don't have a concern that there's a mistaken identity. I have a history of assaultive convictions. My concern at this point is community safety for that reason. Keeping in mind your indigency argument, counsel, I am setting a cash bond in the amount of $250,000. This is a $250,000 cash bond. As I said, I am aware of your indigency argument. I am taking that into account in this case. But given my overriding concern about community safety, this is where I'm setting the bond today.
$250,000.
Next court date in this case is going to be May the 20th. May 20th is the probable cause conference. After that, the preliminary examination is set for May 27th. Both of those are going to be in front of Judge King. There is a no contact order as a condition of this bond. There is to be no contact. There is to be no contact with Michelle Stidham or Jesse Burns. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact with third parties or social media. Any attempted contact with any of those individuals will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Beat me up.
Understood, sir. Don't say anything else. You want to be careful about what you say. You're being recorded. Please don't speak on camera. An attorney will be interviewing you for the second part of your case. DDC, counsel is going to need to interview him so they can represent him at arraignment on the misdemeanor. I'm going to have to recall him after he's been interviewed. Thank you.
We have number 3 and number 6, Your Honor.
You're ready on number 3 and number 6. Ready on Guillory and Allen?
Correct.
Okay, we're ready on Guillory and Allen, DDC.
Give me a second. State your full name, sir. Quentin Allen.
All right, Mr. Allen, this is case number 210-579-0701, People of the State of Michigan versus Quentin Eugene Allen, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, Brandon Bird on behalf of Quentin Allen, my client waives his right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, and view.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. You have an argument as to bond.
As the filing, Your Honor, my client in the case Tuesday, he's a 38-year-old lifelong resident of Detroit, Your Honor. Indicates this is not on probation or parole. I understand he does have past criminal convictions, Your Honor. It looks like they date back to about 2008, and they are non-assault in nature, Your Honor. Respectfully, he works with Valentino on the island. He understands no contact with the complaining witness. He was living with the complaining witness, but he does have an alternate address instead, Your Honor. Now, I understand one of these allegations are assault, but we respectfully ask this court to petition for a personal bond.
Thank you. One moment, please.
How many you got? As soon as I get. Okay.
You said he was living with complaining witness, but is no longer?
He will not be any longer, Your
Okay.
Honor. He has an alternate address to stay at. He's gonna be staying with his friend.
Are there any other pending domestic violence cases between the complainant and the defendant?
Mr. Allen, this is Attorney Brandon Bird speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, no ma'am, no ma'am. Oh, I didn't want to call.
I'm
Your
showing
Honor.
2 open cases. Sir, just wait a
Your Honor.
minute, please.
Okay.
Can somebody do a search here? I'm showing 3 open cases. I just want to make sure there's nothing else going on here that I'm not aware of. Sir, your attorney is always going to advise you to remain silent while we get through this process. After I render my bond decision, if you have questions about your bond or your court date, you're certainly welcome to ask them. You'll have the chance to talk with an attorney again before your next court date. Right now, you're being recorded. You're also being live streamed over YouTube under a court requirement right now during the pandemic, okay? So they always advise you to remain silent. You don't want to say anything that might be construed against you later, and a lot of things can be construed against you later. So it's best to just remain silent. One moment, please.
So far, I've only counted 2, but they've been dismissed.
Okay, and what were they?
Is this little name Eugene?
Yes.
Assault, 2019 case, assault.
What, FA? Felonious assault? Is that what you?
Yes. Both dismissed for complaining witness failed to appear.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Those are the 2 that I see. I don't see any.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, my concern is the way the investigator's report reads is that a can of paint was thrown, a chair was thrown through a window, a shotgun was then found in the house, although it doesn't look like was used in a threatening manner, but it concerned me, the level of kind of lack of control described, which is why I became curious about any other cases. Now being told that there's 2018 and 2019 assaultive cases that were dismissed because a complainant failed to appear, that does cause me some concern. Where is he working?
He's working at Allen County Island, Your Honor.
And what are the work hours?
Mr. Allen,
Yes,
7 a.m. 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
All right, to address my concerns so that we're keeping track of him, I am going to put him on a tether that will allow him to work. I just have some concerns about whatever else is going on in the background here. I want the complainant here to feel safe that she can utilize the court system if she needs to, and not be afraid to come to court if that's what needs to happen. So I am going to put him on a tether that will allow him to go to work, but that's it. He's not to go anywhere near the complainant. So this is going to be a $500,000 personal bond. This is a $500,000 personal bond. In fact, I don't know that I'm going to allow him to go to work. Who's he living with?
He's gonna be staying with a friend, John.
Okay. Madam Clerk, I'm going to put him on home confinement. Can we utilize the cash court date, please?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Just when I'm putting on somebody on full home confinement, I don't want to prolong it longer than necessary. All right. This is a $500,000 personal bond. I am going to require a GPS tether. That tether is going to be full home confinement. I'm using the earlier court date so that he can address that with the judge. I realize he's got a job that he'd like to get to, but I'm concerned about the safety of the complainant in this case. And so the next court date is going to be May the 20th. So he won't have a real long time that he's got to sit at home without being able to leave. He can ask the judge on May 20th if the judge is willing to adjust that bond. And of course, he can file an emergency bond motion if he thinks this is too restrictive before that. But at this time, I've got a concern. I am going to require home confinement on that tether.
Understandable, John. If I could have mentioned, he does have something that he's trying, that he helps support, John. Losing the job would be critical to him and his children. I'm just asking for reconsideration.
So, I mean, so you're aware of my reasoning, counsel. I mean, when I'm told that in the last several years, there have been 2 assaultive cases that have been charged, but they haven't gone anywhere because the complainant has failed to show, that concerns me quite a bit in a domestic violence case. That concerns me quite a bit that whoever is on the receiving end of that or purported receiving end of that doesn't feel safe enough to be able to do what needs to be done to advocate for themselves. And, you know, this system exists for the defendants. It exists for complainants as well. I've got to do my part to try to make that work. That's why I'm setting it this way. That's why I am letting him go home on a tether, quite frankly, rather than keeping him in. Because those cases were dismissed, I'm not going to treat them like convictions. I'm not going to hold him here, but I am going to make him stay home until the judge feels comfortable letting him do something else. As I said, I did move the court date up. I feel like that's the most I can do to try to help move the thing along for him. $500,000 personal bond. I do understand your argument. There will be a GPS tether before he is released from the jail. That GPS tether will require him to be on full home confinement. There is to be no contact with the complainant, in this case, Dominique Harris. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt to even contact her will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You're all set.
Hello, Ms. Jefferson.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Which case are you here on? Are you here on a case?
Yes, I'm doing James Noel for Montel. We got
James Noel?
Yes.
Okay. And for the clerk, what's your P number? Just so they can go ahead and get it down.
42872.
42872. Okay, thank you. DDC, well, let me make sure I have the file. Yep, I do. DDC, when you have a chance, can we get Mr. James Noel, please? Thank you. And then we're ready on Guillory as well.
Stand on the black line, 34-9.
James Noel.
All right, Mr. Noel, we're joined here by your counsel, Attorney Jefferson. We'll go ahead and call your case, which is case number 21057900501, People versus James Michael Noel. Counsel.
I'm going to say just on behalf of James Noel. And Your Honor, I think he has 2 cases.
All right, let's see. I've got 2 charges in a single file. I've got a charge of unlawful imprisonment and then another count, reckless use of a firearm. Is there another charge, another case you were expecting?
Well, Ms. Keller indicated it was 2 cases. Maybe there is 2 charges. She said one was an old case. And then he
okay. Well, I only have 1 file in front of me with a date of offense of May 10th, 2021. You want us to, if you want to give me your number and I'll call you if we get another file after you're off, I'm happy to do that so that he's not arraigned without you being present.
Okay, thank you. It's 313-729-5767.
Okay, thank you.
And Your Honor,
it may be that if it's an old one, they're not getting to it yet because they're putting us out early today due to a building maintenance issue. So.
Oh, okay. And you got to wait for the reading and stand mute as to the charges.
Thank you. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf, and I'll hear your argument as to bond, please.
Your Honor, Mr. Noel has ties to the community. He's working. I don't think he has a place to stay. He has assured me, as well as his family has assured us, that he will return for all future court dates. I don't think he has any criminal record. We are asking the court to consider a personal bond.
Okay, thank you. Stand by one moment, please. Parking lot. Victim was observed standing next to stolen car. Victim behind. Stated he had video of him abducting the victim. Defendant went in. Okay, counsel. The allegations here are very concerning. I know you don't have the benefits of the investigator's report, and I think you have the right to know when factors in that report influence my bond decision. They are here. As I said, they're very concerning. Situation where multiple shots were fired. But most concerning here is the purported admissions made by the defendant and purported statements to law enforcement that he actually had video of the incident and offering to sell it to them, that is very concerning to me. I mean, the allegations themselves would cause me a great concern about community safety. Let me just say that. And then to have these purported admissions, because I think everybody wears the cloak of innocence. Certainly now when we start getting to purported admissions made and videos circulating and things like that, they start to have more and more weight. And so I'm going to make my bond decision given those factors and out of a real concern for community safety. You can, of course, appeal this at the next court date or before through a bond motion, as you know. But right now, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500,000 cash out of a real concern for community safety here. The next court date is going to be June the 9th.
The court consider 10% of surety.
If I make it 10%, it's going to be a much higher bond. I mean, I don't think it's going to be about the same number either way. So at this point, I really have a concern the way that this is described in the report that it did happen and that the community is in danger. I'm going to leave it at $500,000 cash. Next court date, June 9th in front of Judge Jones.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. They're telling me they've got a different court date. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm so sorry. Next court date will be sooner. I'm sorry. May 19th. We'll get in for the probable cause hearing May 19th. Preliminary examination will then be set for May 26th. So he'll be in front of the judge in just about a week in front of Judge Jones. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's all you ought to go.
Tyler Guillory.
Okay, Mr. Guillory, one moment, please.
We also have Sims, second case, and Gibson and Jordan.
I'm sorry. Okay, you have which ones, counsel?
We have Andre Sims for the misdemeanor case.
Okay.
We have James Gibson and Daryl Jordan.
Okay, and so then ready on Sims, Gibson, and Jordan after Mr. Guillory. They're ready on Sims, Gibson, and Jordan. All right, Mr. Guillory. Case number 210-579-0101, People State of Michigan versus Tyler Dwan Guillory, counsel.
Yes, ma'am. Brandenburg, on behalf of Tyler Guillory. I'm trying to waive his right to formal reading, understand his constitutional rights and stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive offense. There are no prior convictions in front of me, assaultive or otherwise. I do not have a concern about community safety. Is your client a resident of the area?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Then I don't see a flight risk. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,500 personal. The next court date is going to be in front of Chief Judge William McConico on June 16th. And then the preliminary examination is set for June 23rd in front of Judge Archer. He's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons during the course of the bond. Thank you. $1,500 personal. Thank you.
Get the next scan on the black line, take all that off.
Okay, Mr. Sims, this is your misdemeanor case. This is case number 210-4464801, People versus Andre Javon Sims. Counsel?
Yes, ma'am. Brandenburg, on behalf of Andre Sims, my client waives his right to understand his constitutional rights and stand mute.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea in your client's behalf. Arguments as to bond?
As to bond, yeah, my client in the case to this day, 51-year-old lifelong resident in 29. Unfortunately, he's unemployed right now, so it's difficult for him to pay time. I know a previous high bond was already set for him, Your Honor. But he indicates to us that he's not on probation or parole, and currently has 2 kids here in Detroit, Your Honor. Respectfully, I understand the sort of nature of these allegations, but as stated, we asked for personal time, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. I did give a high bond in the previous case, given that the level of assaultiveness alleged, the fact that there were 2 victims, and because this case was in existence. I'm not going to make bond as high as I did in that case, but I am going to give a cash bond in the amount of $5,000. In this case, I am concerned because this is apparently the same complainant. $5,000 cash in this one. The next court date will be May 28th of 2021 in front of Judge Bryant. That's the pretrial. In this case, again, no contact with Michelle Stidham. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contact with that individual will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What was that court date again, Your Honor? I couldn't hear you.
Court date on this one is May 28th. May 28th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Damn. I just saw. Must be, I'm taking you to the hospital. Thank you.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Samuel Williams?
Okay, Mr. Williams. Thank you. This is case number 210-579-0801, People of the State of Michigan versus Samuel Leon Williams. Counsel.
I'm not sure if we spoke to him yet, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Williams, have you been interviewed by an attorney yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you need to speak with an attorney before I arraign you, sir. Go ahead and step aside. They'll bring you back up after you talk to an attorney. Well, I haven't had anybody show up for him.
Leave it on.
Please.
Okay, we've got Mr. Jordan here. Case number 210-579-0601, People of the State of Michigan versus Daryl Jordan. Counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Bird on behalf of Daryl Jordan. My client waives right before read. I understand this constitutional rights. Understand you.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Do you have an argument as to bond?
As to bond, Your Honor, my client indicates to us that he's a 61-year-old black ball resident in Detroit, Your Honor. At 61 years of life, he indicates to us that he has no further criminal convictions at all. Not on probation or parole. Unfortunately, he's on SSI right now, so it's difficult for him to pay a monetary bond. He also suffers from high blood pressure, cancer, and kidney disease. So, inside the jail during this pandemic would be a dangerous situation for him to be in. But does understand no contact with the plaintiff with. Will be staying at his brother's house. Does have a alternate address to stay in, Your Honor. Has fine children. I understand the nature of these allegations, Your Honor, but due to my client's severe illnesses, and he doesn't have any prior criminal history, Your Honor, respectfully ask the court for a personal bond.
Okay, thank you. You're telling me there's no prior criminal history whatsoever?
That's what our client stated to us, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. I don't see any, and I've got a felony complaint here, so if there's a prior assaultive history, I should see it. Mr. Jordan has gotten to be over the age of 60 with no prior convictions. That tells me that in general, he's not a risk to the community. I don't think he's a flight risk. I am going to give a personal bond, but Mr. Jordan, it is going to be a high personal bond. That's because there's a no contact order as a provision of this bond, and I want it complied with. If it's not complied with, then you may trigger the high monetary amount that I'm attaching to what is now a personal bond that doesn't cost you money to get out of jail. This is a $150,000 personal bond. There is to be no contact whatsoever with Selena Goss. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contact with Ms. Goss will be a violation of the conditions of your bond and could trigger the high monetary amount that I have attached to it. Your next court date is going to be June 9th in front of Judge Jones. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
What's your name?
James Gibson.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Gibson.
Okay, we ready on Mr. Gibson? Hold on, council is having a,
We were trying to get the lawyer off for Williams.
okay, that's okay. I didn't want to start if you guys weren't ready.
I apologize.
You ready on Mr. Gibson? Okay. All right. This is case number 210-579-1001. People of the State of Michigan versus James Gerald Gibson, counsel.
Yes, yeah, I'm Brandon Berg on behalf of James Gibson. I'm on basis right to formal reading. Understand the constitutional rights, understand you.
Thank you, counsel. Court knows formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I do note that this is a non-assaultive offense. I also see that there are several priors, all non-assaultive as well. I don't see an overall assaultive danger to the community here. Any other arguments as to bond?
Lifelong resident, young, 25-year-old lifelong resident. Respectfully, as
Okay, then I don't think he's a flight risk. I'm going to set a personal bond in the amount of $50,000. $50,000 personal bond. And next court date on this case is going to be June the 9th in front of Judge King. Thank you.
You do have Anthony Maddox ready.
Okay.
Here.
Now ready on Maddox and Harris.
And the retained attorney for Williams should be popping up pretty soon.
Okay.
Right here. Why don't you come to the damn door? Take your hood off. Right here,
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Anthony Lamar Maddox.
All right, Mr. Maddox, this is case number 210-4465101, People State of Michigan versus Anthony Lamar Maddox, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. Brandon Berg on behalf of Anthony Maddox. My client waives his right to formal reading. Understand his constitutional rights, understand you.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. You have an argument as to bond.
Mr. Bond, Your Honor, what I'm going to take to is a 53-year-old lifelong resident of Detroit, Your Honor. Unfortunately, he's unemployed right now, so it's difficult for him to pay monetary bond. But he's not on probation or parole, Your Honor. Has 3 children right here in Detroit. Respectfully, this is a non-assault allegation. We respectfully ask this court for question bond.
Okay, thank you, counsel. This is non-assaultive. I don't see any danger to the community here. Looks like he's been around here a while. I don't see him as a flight risk. Both of those things suggest personal bond. It's set in the amount of $1,000. Next court date is going to be June the 8th in front of Judge Bryant. Sir, you cannot go back to the Family Dollar store. Do you understand? You cannot go back to that store. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You go back in that where you were at.
Hi, what's your name, please?
Ronald Harris.
Okay, Mr. Harris. This is case number 210-579-0901, People State of Michigan versus Ronald Lee Harris, counsel.
Yes, ma'am. Frank Bird on behalf of Ronald Harris, my client waives his right to formal reading, understands his constitutional rights, so stand here.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. You have an argument as to bond.
That's fine, yeah, I'm not trying to indicate guilty. That's the icon resident in Detroit now. Unfortunately, he's unemployed right now, so it'll be difficult for him to pay monetary fine. Does suffer from asthma, which is difficult, which put him in a dangerous situation. And has children, he lives with his girlfriend, has 3 children, he arranged in Detroit now. It's not flight risk. Respectfully, I understand that these are non-assaultive allegations, so we respect the ask the court for a personal bond.
Okay, thank you. It is non-assaultive. There is one prior in front of me. That's all the way back from 2013. That's non-assaultive. I don't see a danger to the community. Sounds like he's got community ties. Those things support a personal bond as well as the health condition during a pandemic. $5,000 personal bond, $5,000 personal bond. Next court date's going to be June 9th in front of Judge Archer. He's not to purchase or possess any firearms or other dangerous weapons or have contact with any drugs during the course of this bond. Thank you. Thank you.
We have 2 more left that we can call. And we want to get DC to put in front of the county.
I sure can. DDC? Can we get Cedric Hall and what's the other one? Willie Wells? Wells. Willie Wells and Cedric Hall. I don't have a file on a Wells. Okay. Willie Wells and Cedric Hall, they need for interview. And then I need to do a traffic arraignment on Joel Austin Sims. They can hear me. Can you hear me? Thank you. That's the one. Okay, thanks so much.
That's it. Okay, thank you. Very welcome.
Madam Clerk, could you run an inquiry on Cedric Hall, please?
Those cases, one is from 2011.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
Assaulting a police officer.
Yeah.
2011. That was this old case, so it's migrated. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, I can worry about that.
An older one from 2004, armed robbery.
Yeah, I got that one. Okay. Is that it?
That one's migrated. Yep, that's it. And he just has the traffic stuff. He has 4 days. Future days.
Okay, thank you. Fine Link isn't showing me anything from other jurisdictions, so.
You guys got who you need on camera now? Do you know?
I can check for you.
Okay, thanks.
You don't have who you need on camera, John.
Hey, DDC.
1 second, Your Honor, here.
Okay, I didn't know if you guys were aware that they're waiting for a couple people to be interviewed.
Yeah, but it was shift change, so they have to go and grab them.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay,
Thank you.
and then this guy right here.
All right, come on.
Okay.
Take her your list.
Yeah, I only sent one.
Hello, may I help you? I was like, you might need to quickly be ready to shut that one down.
Y'all all went to court? Come on. Oh, went to court, come on. Step in here. Stay in front of the camera now. Here you go.
What's going on here? Hello, how are you, sir? Do I have a Zoom hearing today? Mr. Warren?
Yeah. Yes, how you doing?
How can I help you? Good. How can I help you, sir?
I'm trying to get in the correct courtroom if I can. I don't know if I'm in the correct courtroom.
Okay, what is supposed to happen for you today? Do you remember what proceeding are you having today?
I think it's a ticket I had to pay. All my tickets are paid. I had got a ticket in I think September, and they gave me a court date for today. But I paid all my tickets online.
Can you have a ticket number for us?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
SP 113-74971.
Okay, Madam Clerk is checking for you.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. What time? Okay, you're supposed to be in front of Judge Davis. You're running a little late, so let's try to figure out what courtroom. Do you know what courtroom it is? Hold on, we're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, because I've been online for about a half an hour trying to get into that courtroom, but I'd have been talking to 4 different people and it was in the wrong courtroom, so I'm just trying to get in the right one.
Okay. (313) Okay, 31. This is the phone number to the courtroom. They're giving me 313-965. 965-2293.
2293.
Yeah, call that number. We'll be here for a minute. If you don't have any luck, you can try us again.
Okay.
Okay, all right, bye. Oh, it's hot. Wow.
All right, what we got going on now?
Those last 3 guys, females.
Last 3 guys?
Yeah, it should be a Hall, Wells, and Simmons.
Where we at? Which 3?
One of them finished?
Oh no, I had some still in the cage. I thought they said they didn't go.
Didn't go where? This is the list we have right here.
Okay,
This
let me
is
go.
the final.
All right, let me go check. Okay, yeah, we just waiting on them to get.
That's it. Then we'll be done for the day.
Wow.
Yep, Mr. Wales file.
Yep. You want it?
Yeah. I want to see my paperwork's in there or not.
Thank you.
Can I please take a quick moment to read this really well?
You may, yes.
You are in the meeting.
When I had to go get my COVID test when I came back. So Dorsey had actually started court for me.
Oh, okay.
So he did the first two, started the third one. So you see, they all have went. It should all went there. It was only the last
I think most of them.
I don't have any females. None. They thought they were gonna sit there until they went home.
Not there. Okay, thank you.
Good.
Yeah. We only have what, 3 more? Yeah. No, 4.
They'll be done by 2:30. Well, I've got to do this traffic one, then I've got Willie Wales, Cedric Hall.
Samuel Williams, he has retained counsel, but I don't know if she came on yet.
I haven't seen anybody.
With Carter? Yeah.
I leave, see? See what you just
Let her know that. Does she know we started early and leaving
Yeah, I
early?
told her everything.
Okay. Hi, what's your name, sir?
Willie Wells Brown.
You're Willie Wales? Okay. Have they been interviewed now, counsel?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, Mr. Wales. This is case number 210-579-1101, People State of Michigan versus Willie James Wales, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor, Brenda Bird on behalf of Willie Wells, my client waives his right to form reading, understands his constitutional right to his family.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes formal reading has been waived and enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. Do you have an argument as to bond?
Bond, Your Honor, my client indicates that he's a 47-year-old lifelong resident in Detroit, Your Honor. He also indicates to us that he works for Universal Bear, not on probation or parole, Your Honor. He understands no contact with the complainant witness. He does have an alternate location to stay at. My client is shocked about these allegations and plans to fight these allegations vigorously, Your Honor. I understand the sort of nature of these allegations, Your Honor. Respectfully, ask the court potentially for maybe a high personal bond with GPS tether or reasonable 10% bond seen fit by the court.
Does he have a place where he can reside where there are no minors?
Yes, there's no minors where he's gonna stay, Your Honor.
All right. What are his work hours?
Mr. Wells.
9 to 5:30.
One moment. Was I not provided a personal MIT on this one? Do you know? Or did I take it out?
Charge is going to be either state.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, what, if it's personal or monetary, it's just that one day.
All right, let me say this. There are a couple of priors here, but all controlled substance priors. They're not assaulted. These allegations, defendant claims he's innocent. They are not in keeping with the prior kinds of convictions. I will say that. My main concern is that until the system gets that figured out, whether they think there's some truth to it, I want to keep them away from any minors. The investigator's report is extremely scant, provides very, very little information about what the allegations are in the case, provides absolutely zero information about whether any kind of examination was done with the complainant and what that would have shown. And so I don't really have anything to go by with these allegations except to take them as mere allegations. And that's what I'm doing at this point. That's why I'm going to set a personal bond. It is a high personal bond, and that's because I want not only my no contact with this particular complainant honored, there will be no contact with any minors. Okay, he cannot reside in a place where there are any minors, and he's not to have any contact with any minors. If he does that, he will be in violation of the conditions of the bond, and it could trigger the $500,000 amount that I am attaching to what right now is a personal bond. All right. As I said, generally in these kinds of cases, there's an exam of some sort. There's something to tell me, about the credibility of the allegations. I have none of that here. And so I'm forced to treat them as allegations only, and that's what I'm going to do. I am, however, going to require a GPS tether. I will allow him to work on the tether. He can go to work and he can come home. You understand that, sir? That's all you can do right now. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you are going to have to be fitted with that tether before you leave there.
Yes, ma'am.
The next court date in this case is going to be May 26th. May 26th, that's the probable cause conference. After that, the preliminary examination, that's going to be in the morning. Preliminary examination is set for June 2nd. All right, you have the right to a preliminary examination, sir. That's where the government has to present the evidence against you for the first time. That's June 2nd at 1:30 p.m. Both of these are going to be in front of Judge Jefferson. Okay. All right. So we've got the GPS tether, and then of course there is a no contact with the complainant. And when I say no contact, I mean no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contact with that individual will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond and could very well trigger the $500,000 amount that I'm attaching to it that you don't have to pay right now. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Get the next one.
I'm worried about it.
Next man.
Oh, I need no contact with minors in my other box that I didn't put in there. Yeah, thank you.
Tell them they got one more left over there to interview. He didn't go in.
Is somebody on the screen?
No.
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Cedric Hall, man.
Thank you. One moment, please.
Okay.
We'll call your case. Thank you. Okay, this is case number 210-446-5201, People State of Michigan versus Cedric Antoine Hall, counsel.
Yes, Your Honor. On behalf of Cedric Hall, I waive the right to formal reading. Understand the constitutional rights and will stand here.
Thank you, counsel. Court notes formal reading has been waived. Enters a not guilty plea on your client's behalf. I'll hear your arguments as to bond.
Your Honor, we're finding the case to this day. He's 35-year-old, 35-year-old resident of Detroit. He's been a resident now for 20 years, Your Honor. He works with Great Lakes Wire and Springs, not on probation or parole. Does have some college behind him, Your Honor. Understands no contact with the complaining witness. Does have apartment address to stay at. And he also has one 9-year-old daughter that's here in Detroit. So he's not a flight risk, Your Honor. I understand the sort of nature of these allegations, so we expect to have this court for personal bond.
Okay, this is charged as a misdemeanor. How long has Mr. Hall been out of the custody of the MDOC?
Mr. Hall, this is the attorney, Brandon Burris.
Pardon me?
Mr. Hall, can you hear your attorney?
Yes, I can. What was the question?
How long have you been out of custody of the MDOC?
Since July of 2020.
Did you finish parole in 2020 or did you get out of prison in 2020?
I finished parole in March of this year, 21.
Okay. And you were in custody of the MDOC until 2020, March of 2020?
Yes, for like a parole violation for, I want to say 12 months.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you. All right. So you were released from the MDOC, you were out for a while, then you got a parole violation, had to go back, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Did you say he is working, counsel?
Yes, and Great Lakes Wire and Springs.
Wine and Spirits. Great Lakes Wine and Spirits.
Wine and Spirits.
All right. Tell me about work hours.
I work from 7 p.m. until, man, we might not, it should be 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., but it's up until the last truck is loaded. So we might not get out of there till 9 until they finish throwing the wine cases on the truck. So we might work 15 hours, 16 hours, but I go in at 7 from Sunday through Thursday, man, 7 p.m. until. You can call and verify. I've been there since November. Oh, okay, all right, too much for my bad. Sorry about that.
So that's okay. So I'm going to require you to be on a GPS tether, but I don't want to take it so you can't go to work. So I'm going to try to craft your hours so that you're able to work as you need to. I'm going to start you at 6 p.m. That gives you an hour to get to work. Okay, I'm going to start you at 6 p.m. And then I need to know what time you got to be back home. So you unload the last truck sometimes at what time?
5, 6. We'll be out of there no later than 7.
7 a.m. Okay. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you till 9 a.m. because under your original statements, it sounds like sometimes it takes a little bit longer. So I'm going to put you on GPS. I'm going to say that it's okay for you to go to work. Okay. On that tether. I'm going to set a high personal bond in this case because I want my no contact order adhered to. I'm setting your personal bond at $500,000. You don't have to pay to get out of jail today. But if you violate the no contact order by attempting any kind of contact with the complainant, then you're going to trigger a very high monetary amount and find yourself locked up in there without the ability to get out on what's a misdemeanor charge. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next court date is going to be June the 8th. June the 8th. You're going to be in front of Judge Garrett. There is to be no contact with Tamira Thomas. That means no verbal contact, no written contact, no contact through third parties or social media. Any attempt at contact with that individual will be considered a violation of the conditions of the bond. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I will see what's going on.
Okay, and then DDC, you know, I still have to do Joel Austin Sims on a traffic. He doesn't need to be interviewed. I just got to arraign him.
Say your name.
Joel Sims.
All right, Mr. Sims, you're here because you missed court in traffic. Oh, no, it's a new arraignment. All right. We're arraigning you now on case number this is a ticket, Z8082751. Here, the government alleges that on May 11th of 2021 that you were operating while intoxicated. It is your first offense. I do not have a multiple offender notice here. That generally says to me that it's an anomaly. I don't think you're a danger to the community. I'm not going to judge you to be a flight risk. Do you live here in the area?
I stay on Gratiot.
Okay, thank you. Then I don't think you're a flight risk. You live around here. I'm going to give you a personal bond on this ticket, okay? All right. Next court date on this one is going to be June the 8th. June the 8th, you're going to be in front of Judge Christopher Blount, okay? Getting a personal bond. Do I need to associate an amount with an OWI? Can't remember. Okay, yeah, you're getting a personal bond. You'll be in front of Judge Christopher Blount for your pretrial on June 8th, okay? Thank you.
Okay, June 8th.
Come on, June.
Huh? No, sorry. Can you bring him back, please? I'm sorry, I've had a total blank. Thank you. Didn't actually arraign him, I just said bond.
There you go. Yes.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sims. There are a couple things I'm supposed to tell you before you leave. Number one, that it's technically a misdemeanor. That means you can face up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. It doesn't mean that's what will happen in your case. That's the maximum possible penalty for most misdemeanors in the state. Okay. The other thing is that you have the right to an attorney to help you on this ticket in the future. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be provided for you on or before your next court date. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Good catch, Crawford. You actually do have to arraign him. Good afternoon, Miss Carter. How are you? Uh-oh, are you mute? Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Great stuff.
There we go. How are you today?
Thank you so much for your patience. I'm sorry. It was like I got at the same time. It was a 3:50.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, we are all kind of schedule crazy today around here.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Okay, so we're ready, DDC, on you're here on Mr. Williams, right? Samuel Williams?
I am, yes, I am.
Okay, great. DDC, we're ready on Samuel Williams whenever you are, please, whenever you can get him to us. PM to 9 a.m. Data please.
You don't stop that black line for me.
Hi, what's your name, please? Hi, what's your name, sir? All right, good afternoon again, Mr. Williams. This is case number 210-579-0801, People's State of Michigan versus Samuel Leon Williams. Counsel.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Ruth Carter, on behalf of Mr. Williams, again, I'd like to thank you for your patience.
Of course. Thank you. Do you wish to waive form? I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, counsel. Are you waiving formal reading, standing your client mute?
Yeah, but you know what, Judge, could you just at least tell us what the charges are? You don't have
Sure, of course. Mr. Williams is charged in count 1 with delivery, manufacture of a controlled substance, that substance being methamphetamine. That is a felony for which the maximum possible penalty is up to 20 years imprisonment and or a $25,000 fine. That does have a second or subsequent offense notice attached to it, which of course can enhance the sentence. Then there is count 2. Delivery, manufacture, controlled substance, the substance being a mixture containing less than 50 grams of cocaine. That again is a felony for which the maximum possible penalty is up to 20 years and or a $25,000 fine. Again, this one also has a second or subsequent offense notice, which can enhance that sentence. And then there is a 4th habitual offender notice here in the file, which of course can take the can enhance the maximum sentence up to double. All right, counsel.
Thank you very much.
Do you wish us to enter a not guilty plea on his behalf and stand in mute?
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll stand in mute, enter a not guilty plea on his behalf, and then I'll hear your argument as to bond, please.
Mr. Williams, I think this is going to be a very interesting case. The stop was very, very shaky at best, and I think Mr. Williams has been working steadily in town, out of town. He's been trying to get things done and his bills paid. I'd ask that you give a person a bond that does not have a history of habeas, and he's got a mother who is extremely supportive of him. And I think that he would not have any problem getting back to court. She would make sure he gets back to court. I'll make sure.
Okay, hold on just a second. Can we hold off on printing for just a moment? I'm not able to hear. Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Okay, sounds like you said he's got a mother here who's extremely supportive of him. Obviously, he's retained very, very able counsel here. You're in good hands. And so it sounds like he's not a flight risk. He's here dealing with it as he should be. There are some priors here, as I noted. None of it is assaultive. I don't think he's a danger to the community. So both of those things, the lack of any flight risk and the lack of being a danger to the community, as far as I can see, as well as the pandemic, all support a personal bond in this case. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set the personal bond in this case in the amount of $20,000, $20,000 personal bond. The next court date will be on June the 9th, and that's going to be in front of Judge Jefferson.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good one.
Have a good day.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
To my pocket, take it.
Okay, I think that does it for us, DDC.
Have a great day.
Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
What's up with those boys just went back to check?
Yeah, 20,000, okay? You can put them up. I gotta get his face sheet.
No, he's 20,000 personal. Williams, that last one, Williams is 20,000 personal. Okay.